So I've realized that I've not really made any update about this light therapy lamp, and I made a video quite a lot of months ago now mentioning that I was interested in one of these light therapy lamps in order to, just because I heard. So if you haven't watched that video, basically near the end of last year I was in a really just low and extremely depressive mood, and just had no motivation to do anything, not even hobbies or anything like that, and just in a way just kind of gave up on everything, I suppose. And because I was just so tired of feeling that way for many weeks, I was just looking online for like various other ways on how to improve my mood. And since my medication was, I was still going through like a transition with the doses, so maybe that had an effect on my mood being that low. But I was just looking online and I came across a therapy light lamp, and basically it's to simulate sunlight, because sunlight basically gives the body, I think it was vitamin D, I think, and apparently that helps with improving your mood. And because I live in a place where we don't get much sunlight, I'm not able to really absorb as much light as my body really needs it. So that's where this therapy light lamp comes in. It's to simulate sunlight, and I basically need to just kind of shine it just about a foot away from my eyes for about 30 to an hour a day. And I was doing that for about 2.5 months. So every morning I'd wake up and then just put the light on and just sit in front of it for about 30 minutes to an hour. And I don't know if it has helped. Like, I was using it, and then for me personally, I wasn't really feeling any benefits from it, but at the same time, it's like my mood was slowly improving as well. And I'm not sure if that was due to my body adjusting to the change in medication, or that the phase of the depressive mood is coming to an end, or if it indeed was some help from the mood light. But yeah, I used it for about 2.5 months, and then for whatever reason just stopped using it, and I've not used it for about maybe 2-3 months maybe. And yeah, I've just realized that I've never really made an update on the light lamp. And I guess in my conclusion, it's difficult to say if it did help me or not in terms of my mood. Like I mentioned, I wasn't sure if it was the medication that I was adjusting to, or just coming to an end of the depressive phase, or if it was the light lamp that helped. But it probably did have a hand in helping, even though I'm probably feel that I wasn't getting any benefits from it. Maybe I actually was, but I'm just unaware of it. So it's quite difficult for me to conclusively say if the light lamp really does work or not. But like, since I've not used it in quite a long time, I probably will start just using it again, just to see, if it does alter my mood or hopefully improves my mood even further. So yeah, just thought I'd make a little update on the therapy light lamp. So it's been a couple of months since my medication changed now, and I feel that enough time has passed where I can kind of feel the difference in my change of medication in terms of the dosage. So, if you've been following me on this channel, a few months ago I mentioned that they increased my medication to like the maximum of one of the doses, and then I was basically just complaining to the doctor that, or not complaining, but just mentioning that I just didn't really feel any emotion at all. Like, I struggled to express any kind of emotion like joy, happiness, sadness, or anything really when I'm playing video games or watching movies or anything. Like, my face is always just a blank stare. Like, I just had trouble expressing anything, and I even at times forced myself to try and express it but just couldn't. And that was just kind of like really kind of weighing me down, and I was still feeling not really any improvement in terms of my mood either. I was still feeling very sad and depressed most of the time. But I will say, during that time, I did feel that my OCD definitely improved a bit. So I was kind of doing repetitive things less likely, and was able to not kind of obsess over my thoughts on things I do, such as like just, for example, just picking a cup up to drink water. Sometimes I have to do it multiple times, so pick it up, put it back down, and then pick it up again, and then it usually has to be in even numbers, so I can't ever really like drink a cup of water on my third pickup or fifth pickup. It has to be two, well, it can rather be 1, 2, 4, 6, and so on. So I definitely found improvement in that department, but because my mood wasn't really improved and I just had really difficulty expressing emotion, and also the increase made me extremely tired as well, so I was always just constantly just dozing off and sleeping way too much really. So a couple of months when I saw the doctor, I asked to kind of decrease the dosage back to where it was, and then increase a different medication slightly to help with OCD instead. So we did that, and after a few months now, I can feel that I'm kind of back to where I was before the increase in dosage. So I still feel low and depressed most of the time, but at least now I can kind of express a bit more emotion. I wasn't just like a blank zombie or anything. So when I'm playing video games or watching movies or anything, I'm able to like, smile or laugh or just basically feel emotions from it. But I will say, for that benefit, I had to kind of like exchange it for the OCD, because I feel that my OCD has definitely kind of gotten worse lately. So I'm kind of obsessing over my thoughts a bit more again, and having to do things repetitive times again. And yeah, it's just really difficult to balance it really. Like, it's hard to find one where I can express emotion, manage the OCD a lot better, and I guess the main thing is to improve my mood, but that's still been a really big struggle to find. So yeah, I just realized that I've not really talked about how I've been feeling in terms of my mood lately in my videos, so I'm just kind of updating it now. And I'm not really sure when I'm going to see the doctor again. I assume it should be about 2 or 3 months time, so I'll definitely bring these up to her the next time. Like I mentioned before, I definitely like to mention to her the transcranial magnetic stimulation method. It's basically this kind of device that they use to treat patients with mental health. And it's basically this device that they kind of strap to your head, and it sends these kind of magnetic vibrations through your brain. And apparently that kind of resets the chemicals in your brain in terms of like the chemical that affects moods. So I just remember reading up online about it a few months ago, saying that it was an effective method for treating mental health. So I just want to bring it up to my doctor about why I've never been offered this method, and basically see where it goes from there. So yeah, I definitely have quite a lot of things to like to discuss with my doctor, but I just have to wait a couple of months for it really. So yeah, just thought I'd just kind of update on how my mood's been and how my OCD's been doing as well, since I've not mentioned it in a while. So something really weird happened to me last night. So it was around 11 o'clock last night, so I was just about getting ready to go to sleep. But then as I stood up, I just immediately had this like really weird feeling. I just suddenly just became extremely dizzy, really lightheaded, and then felt really, really weak and tired, and then my body just started to sweat as well. It's like the kind of cold sweat you get. And I also just started feeling really sick, like I really wanted to vomit. And it was really sudden, like it wasn't like a build-up, it was just a sudden 1 second later I just started feeling this way. And I guess shortly before I started feeling like that, one of my back teeth did actually fall out. So basically, for many years now, I've had a bit of a chipped tooth, and a few months ago, half of it fell off, and then now, a few months later, the rest of it just fell off. And then after it fell off, I was a bit sad that it fell off, but I wasn't really that surprised, just because when I had the tooth fixed about 6 or 7 years ago now, the dentist told me that the tooth wouldn't really last that long. He said it might last a maximum maybe 3 years, but I've had it it's lasted for me for about 7 years before it fell off. So I was upset, sure, but at the same time I was kind of expecting it. I wasn't really like feeling too distraught over it. I was just kind of like, okay, it's fallen off, like, there's not much I can do about it. I wasn't like feeling like really sad or getting a lot of anxiety from it. That's like me emotionally, so I'm not too sure if it was subconsciously I was just having a lot of anxiety and distress over it. That's why I started feeling really sick. But like I said, emotionally I wasn't too bothered, but maybe subconsciously my body was just telling me that I was just feeling a lot of anxiety. That's why I suddenly felt sick. And then like the feeling that I had, so a few months ago I mentioned that I was kind of having, what's it called, the term where I think it's like medication withdrawal symptom. I think it's called something like that. Basically I went through a few days without taking my medication, and then my body started reacting in a negative way. So I was feeling really lightheaded, really dizzy, cold sweating a lot, felt sick and vomiting. And honestly, that's kind of the same feeling I had last night. But I've been taking my medications. I've not stopped taking them, not even missed out a day or anything. So I'm just not too sure why I got that feeling over me. So when I started feeling like that, I dragged myself up to my bed and then slept. And then even lying down, I was still feeling really dizzy and lightheaded and just felt really sick. But luckily I managed to fall asleep rather quickly. And then I did awake like really early in the morning, and I was feeling okay at that time. Like I wasn't really feeling like the same feeling I had last night, so I just went back to sleep and then woke up later in the day, and then here we are. So yeah, I'm no longer feeling that feeling I had last night. So I don't know, it's just this really sudden and weird feeling that just came over me. And like I said, I don't know if it was because of my subconscious and my body telling me that, but it was just a really random and strange feeling that I just thought I'd kind of mention this morning. So I just got back from my local library. So about 5 months ago, I donated one of my own published books. And basically the staff there said I'll probably be able to hear from them in around 2 weeks to a month's time. But now that it's been about 5 months and I've heard nothing from them, so I decided to go chase them up. And basically they just told me that it's still on the waiting list, and because I've kind of reminded them, they're gonna try and kind of push it up the list a bit. So it's still going to be a while until I know if they're going to accept it or not. And then I also donated more of my books to the Mary Stevens Hospice charity as well. So yeah, I printed off a lot of my books quite a lot of months ago. So I'm kind of just slowly donating them around to, like, I donated some to the hospital and then donated one to the library, and now I'm donated to some local charities as well. So yeah, I think overall it went okay. Obviously I was a bit nervous when speaking to the staff due to my anxiety and stuff, but I think overall it went okay. So I guess that's pretty much it for this week, so hopefully I'll see you next Saturday. That's it for this video. My name is Hoiman, and please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And remember, always look forward, keep hope alive, and remember, you're somebody.